I didn't know that mark on my collarbone would end my grandmother's whole story. She has a pin with 3 stones set the same way. Takes it off her own collar every year at the family dinner and pins it on me. This doesn't skip a generation. Avery, she always says, it knows. Everyone claps. I'm 26. I believed her my whole life. That same dinner, Jonah leaned across the table for the bread basket and his collar shifted. I caught it before he could fix it. Same triangle under his collarbone. Jonah and I have the exact same mark. He straightened his collar so fast he knocked over his water glass. Neither of us said a word. My Aunt Claire was a few chairs over. Her eyes went straight to us and stayed there. That night, I asked my mom, casual while she did dishes, "Did you know Jonah has a birthmark just like mine?" She didn't turn around. Maybe it's just a coincidence, honey. Too fast, too smooth. She rinsed the same plate 3 times. 2 days later, I went through the storage closet. Found a photo of my grandmother, maybe 19, wearing that same pin. Next to her, a boy half cropped out of frame. On the back, faded ink. Thomas before. No after photo of him anywhere. I found the woman who delivered me. Retired now, 2 towns over. She didn't want to talk at first. Then she said it. There were 2 babies in that room that night. Not one. They were twins. I paid extra to rush the lab results. They came back the night before our next family dinner. I sat in my car 20 minutes before going in, folded everything into my bag. I wasn't going in there to cry. I was going in there to finish something. Whole family at the table. My grandmother stood with her wine glass, pin already in her fingers. Jonah is sweet, she said, looking right at him. But sweetness was never this family's currency. Bloodlines are. Avery has always had the mark. My dad nodded along. Same as always, Jonah just stared at his plate. He'd heard this every year, never once about him. I didn't reach for the pin. Who's Thomas' grandma? Her hand froze halfway to her own collar. Where did you hear that name? In a photo in your handwriting. I laid it out, one fact at a time. The midwife remembers 2 babies in that room, not 1. Jonah and I aren't cousins. We're twins. I put the lab results on the table. My grandmother's face didn't move. I did what was right for this family, she said. What was right? Claire's voice came from the end of the table. She hadn't touched her food all night. No. Claire stood up, hands shaking. Thomas got sent away because his mind never worked right. This family doesn't keep what isn't perfect. I was 19, unmarried. That was bad enough for you. I hadn't even left the hospital. You handed Avery, healthy, straight to your son and his wife, Jonah, the weaker one. You signed away in a parking lot. I watched through the window. 3 years, Mom, 3 years before I found him, and you still made me call him adopted. My grandmother's face had gone the color of the tablecloth. I did what I thought would survive longest, she said. Her voice wasn't steady anymore. You did what was right for the version of this family you needed people to see, I said. She still had the pin pinched between 2 fingers. I reached over and took it straight out of her hand before she could close her fist around it. She didn't fight me for it. I think some part of her already knew. I stood up, walked around the table, and pinned it onto Jonah's collar. Same exact spot she always pinned it on me. I said her own line back to her, word for word. It doesn't skip a generation, Grandma. It knows. I took Claire's hand. We sat down on either side of Jonah. Nobody was looking at him like the spare anymore. They were all looking at her, the exact same way they used to look at him. She was still standing at the head of the table when we started eating. Her hands were empty. Her collar was empty. Nobody pulled out a chair for her.